Properties and states are critical components for thermodynamics. So what do we call a property? The property is something where we can actually apply a numerical value to it. That's the most critical system. So for a system that I might have here, what do I have? I've got a volume that defines what that system is. My surroundings is something outside of it, and the boundary is that infinitely thin layer that defines the distinction between the system itself and the surroundings. But the mass is very important. That is a property of this, as well as the volume that we have. That is another property that we see within there. The energy that this gas has is a property. Similarly, the pressure that it is exerting is important, and the temperature that the gas is at or the system is at. The state, the condition of a system is defined as a state, and it is described by the properties. So here I have a gas. I've got a certain volume, I have a certain mass, I have a certain temperature. If I were to change that, then I would have a change in state. But the state can be defined by a subset of properties. This is important, this word of a subset of properties. In fact, any two independent properties will define all of the other properties of that state. The process is to go from one state to another state. When any of the properties of a system change, the state will change, and the system is said to have undergone a process. So in this example here, when the volume of the same amount of mass has changed, our state will have changed. We will have gone from one state, actually, to another state through a process. Properties define a state, and the properties can be extensive, in which they really do depend upon their size. So in this example, it doesn't really depend upon where they are, but if I define this as a system and I define this as a system, given that they have the same amount of mass, they are all at the same temperature, they are all at the same volume that we have, they are the same. Whereas intensive properties are independent of the size. That's the critical system. We have pressure and temperature are independent, or I'm sorry, pressure and temperature are intensive properties. Similarly, if I talk about the specific volume, that is volume per unit mass. It is an intensive property, whereas the volume as just a length cubed is an extensive property.